What is going on, guys? I am back. The Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Wii U. One of these being a really big commercial success, and one of these being, well, the Wii U. I'm just playing. I mean, I love my Wii U. I used to play it to death, but at the same time, I mean, the sales weren't the greatest, bro. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Today, I'm here to talk about which one has a better handheld device, the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Wii U. You may be wondering, why would you want to compare the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U out of all the things you could compare, right? I'll think about it like this. Nintendo Switch and the Wii U were very similar in the fact that they're mainly supposed to be like hybrid consoles, is what I like to call them. Nintendo Switch is supposed to be like an in-home and also a console that you can take with you through the handheld. Nintendo Wii U, well, it's kind of like the same thing, except, well, they did it a lot worse because you couldn't take the handheld device with you, but at the same time, it's like, think about it, that's what makes them very similar. And also because I believe the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U, they definitely have their own things that are very unique to each other, but are also good and bad about each other. These would have a lot of the more modern features of handheld devices, you know, very up to date and all that. So that's mainly why I felt like I should compare these two devices out of all the things I could have compared. But yeah, enough rambling, enough talking, let's get right into the video, man. For this video, I'm going to have 6 different topics that I'm going to be comparing both of these systems by. I'm going to try to be very straightforward with everything. But anyways, yeah, let's get right into it, man. First thing that I want to talk about is the security. How secure do these handheld devices feel inside of your hands, right? Like, which one feels like it's going to fall out of your hands, and which one feels like it's not going to fall out of your hands, I guess, right? I don't know. Before I even compare these things, right off the bat, I'm giving this to the Wii U, bro. Nintendo Wii U, the thing just, it's a lot more strong, that's the thing about it. It has a lot more, like, I guess, strength to it. It also is just, it fits your hand, it fits in your hands a little bit more snug, I almost believe, when it comes to holding it and, you know, not being, because you're not worried about it as much. This thing is a tank, bro. This thing is strong as frick, so it's a lot more secure. It's nothing that you can really break with this thing, even though I managed to break it when I was younger, but we're not going to talk about that. But with the Nintendo Switch, the issue is that mainly the Joy-Cons, the fact that the Joy-Cons aren't actually attached to the handheld console like that. They're mainly their own controllers that you can detach pretty easily. They are attached to it, but you get what I'm saying, right? They're not like 100% glued to the thing or nothing. So, I mean, you would hope that while you're playing your Nintendo Switch, you know, one of the Joy-Cons doesn't slide out while you're playing the junk and you drop your Switch. Also, the Switch is a lot more delicate, so yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one to the Wii U, obviously. Now controlling, how does the controlling feel when it comes to these two handheld devices? Which one controls better? Now, with the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch's controlling is amazing. I'm telling you, it feels so natural. It feels like you've already, it just, the moment you put this thing in your hands, it just feels so natural to me. It's definitely very, very good. It's like, if this feels like freaking GameCube controller level status on a handheld device. Like, that junk is amazing. You know, it feels very, very natural. You don't move your hands around too much when you're using it. You're just playing. It's almost like you're inside of the handheld device playing the game or some junk. Like, it's that freaking natural. Now, with the Nintendo Wii U, it's not as good, you know. It's, the system is a lot more, the buttons are a lot more spread out, is what I'll say, you know. So you gotta move your hand around a lot more. It definitely feels like, you know, it's a very strong, freaking muscular old console. So it's like, I don't know, the thing's got a lot of freaking, it's just, you know how it is. Like, it's freaking a lot more weird moving your hands around. It feels a lot less natural. So I'm definitely gonna have to give this one to the Nintendo Switch. The options, right? How many different options do you have when it comes to these two different consoles? The diversity, the buttons, how many different things that, you know, may not be in every handheld console, you know? What differs these two consoles is kind of what I'm thinking. Which one has more differences? Of course, the Wii U has a lot of the standard things, AC adapter, whatever the heck, move around junk, you know, the little mic, home, whatever, all the standard things. The main other option that isn't all that important to me all that much is going to be the TV option. I mean, the TV option, it is cool. When I was younger, I thought the TV option was the coolest thing, but I never really got a whole lot of use out of it, I'm going to be honest with you. Because if I'm turning on the Wii U, I'm usually going to freaking play the Wii U, I guess. So, I mean, and plus there's always freaking the TV controller that makes it a little bit faster, in my opinion. So, it's never really been, if you lose the freaking TV controller, then yeah, that's great. But, like, that's just not all, it's not all that freaking useful. I mean, it's a cool little option. I respect Nintendo for putting in the extra effort, but, you know, but with the Nintendo Switch, however, this thing is obviously, it's so obvious that this junk is going to win because, bro, you could stand up the Nintendo Switch, you can freaking slide out the Joy-Cons and play the Nintendo Switch. It's still, that still counts as freaking playing it in handheld mode to me. You're still taking the junk with you, right? So you can play this thing in so many different ways, you know, sideways Joy-Con, 2 free Joy-Cons, freaking, it's got like all the standard things that the Wii U pretty much has except for the TV feature, thank God. The strength. Now, I kind of already talked about the strength with the security, but they're two different things in my opinion, because with the security, you're just seeing how, like, secure it is in your hands. With the strength, you're seeing what if the junk falls out of your hands type junk. So, I mean, come on now. Look at the Wii U, bro. Look at this thing. This thing is freaking strong, girthy. These junks got all, I don't know what type of steroids y'all injected into this thing, but this thing is strong as frick, so it's gonna be like, what the heck? To put this into like a scenario, right? If you were to give a Wii U to a little kid, he is not gonna be able to break he, she, whatever is not gonna be able to break this junk easy. Though, with the Nintendo Switch, this thing is legit a tablet with two freaking very delicate Joy-Cons attached to it. You drop this thing on some damn concrete and it's probably gonna break. So yeah, it's a lot more weak. Probably, yeah, it's more weak than even the Nintendo 3DS. So yeah, it's gonna be like, it's definitely gonna have to go to the Nintendo Wii U with that. The battery life. This is one thing that I kind of looked up by myself, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the battery life on the freaking Nintendo Switch is better. It's weird because I don't know how the heck they get these calculations. Where do y'all get these calculations from? 2.5 to 6.5 hours. Just give me a battery life, bro. I don't understand why the heck the gap is so different. Like, if it was like 5 to 6 hours or something like that, I would understand, but 2.5 to 6.5 hours? Are y'all talking about different models or something? I'm going by the latest model. That's probably 6.5. So yeah, and the Wii U is like 3 to 5 or some junk. The Nintendo Switch wins. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the speakers, and this one's a little bit hard for me to talk about as like freaking, I've actually tried to talk about this one a couple of different times and failed, but yeah, the Wii U speaker, right? Now, I broke the junk when I was little. I was a little monster, but like the junk was a lot freaking more. The speaker it actually didn't seem all that bad. Like, the speaker it really did. It didn't seem all that bad when I remember, as much as I remember using it. It really wasn't all that bad. The thing has a lot, like, I'm sure built in when it comes to, you know, sound and all that stuff. I mean, look at the freaking system. It's got a lot built in. It's got a lot more built into it. So I feel like the sound is a lot better on the Nintendo Wii U. I mean, I've kind of already spoiled them what I think about the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch's speakers are actually pretty bad in my opinion. The games, here's the thing, when it comes to video games, I feel like the speakers aren't all that bad. You know, when you're playing a video game or some junk. But when you're watching YouTube, that junk sounds horrendous. I'm not even gonna lie. I was freaking watching some live streamer guy that was on YouTube and junk, and I was like, damn, I need some headphones. I'm sorry, but like, I feel like it's because YouTube videos aren't really what's integrated with the Nintendo Switch, but like the video games are in a way, so they're gonna sound better. I don't know, it's a little bit confusing to me, but yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one to the Wii U. That was the last category I had. That's actually really, people are probably going to be mad as freaking me. Like, you end up tying these handheld devices and all that. Those were horrible categories. Listen, man, this is my first time doing this, alright? Give me some slack, bro. If I'm going to have to give the winning title to one of these freaking handheld devices, it's going to be obviously the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is overall a better console than the Nintendo Wii U. It's obviously why the heck it's so better, to be honest with you. Also, the advertising and all that. But anyways, it's like with the Nintendo Switch, man, freaking, it's so comfortable in your hands. You can do so much with it. You can bring the junk outside. The Wii U, you can't. And even though, like I said, that's not all that important to me. It's more about, like, for this video, what the handheld device itself can do no matter where you bring it. But at the same time, that is kind of a contributing factor. Like, you know, can you take the junk with you or not? And yeah, you can't do that with the Wii U. The Wii U definitely has its strengths. You know, it's very strong. I freaking love that about the Wii U, how strong it feels. It feels like you're really holding something that's really official. The Nintendo Switch, it does feel like you're holding something official, but it is a lot more delicate. But the delicacy, I mean, that doesn't make it any really worse when it comes to playing games. The screen is weaker, but it's better. The freaking buttons, controls are a lot more natural. Freaking everything about it is pretty much a lot better. Also, when you're playing video games, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give this one to the Nintendo Switch. But anyways, that's all I really have to talk about for today. And anyways, that's it. That's all I got to talk about. So thank you so much for watching. And yeah, thank you. Peace.